experience is the experiment.
Today's guest hails from South Carolina, but has since made his way to Los Angeles, California. He's an artist, he's a songwriter, and he recently put out his new song, I Want to Make You Mine. Please welcome today's guest, Jackpal.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
Did I get everything correct?
That was perfect. That was
beautiful.
great.
And I got the name right?
Yes, sir.
So we were talking earlier about Jackpal. Reminds, if you say it fast enough, it sounds like your full name, but it's a condensed version.
Yes.
I love it.
That was one of the big reasons as to why we wanted to change the name for SEO purposes. I feel like there's a lot of things that are called Jack Powell on the internet, and I was kind of just thinking, okay, I need to figure out how we can find a way to kind of keep the name, but just make it, I guess, spell it differently. And Jack Powell came to fruition.
And it's nice because it still has like this resemblance of your name, and it's not like this whole new identity. Because I think so many people rely on being able to put on a mask to step away from who they originally were, and having this kind of connection, this bridge between the two, allows you to have one foot in, one foot out. You can pull from past ideas, from core memories, and still have them have this connection to your music, but you also get to kind of rewrite your book.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Tell everybody who you are.
Well, my name is Jack Powell. I'm from South Carolina. Let me talk to you about how I actually first started making music, because I tell everybody this and they're like, what the am I allowed to cuss?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, what the fuck? Like, that is so strange. So I went to this middle school in Charleston, and basically I had this bully, and he would just go in and just like beat the shit out of me in class when like the teacher wasn't looking.
What a dick.
I know, right? But what's crazy is, though, one day he basically like picks me up by my legs like we were in like a fucking cartoon and just starts like shaking me, bro. And like my shit ends up like falling out of my pockets, and he picks up my phone and like runs into a practice room and somehow gets into it and is like going through my notes and sees like this song that I was working on. And he comes out and he's like, wait, hold on, this is actually like really good. Like, let me take you to my studio. So I was like, okay, fine. So we end up going, and now we're like homies. Like, he just had a kid, and like that's like one of my best friends.
That you weren't wrong. That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
So would you say the reason you started writing pre him seeing that was based off of like these experiences with having a bully and having life? Was it like an outlet, or were you doing this far before, just it was part of your life?
I don't think I had a lot of friends growing up, and I feel like I really just turned to music to kind of just make me feel like I had somebody to talk to or something to talk to. Honestly, I wasn't even doing it I never thought that anything would come out of it. I was really just doing it just to kind of get how I was feeling out.
Kind of like a diary.
Yeah, basically. And then it kind of came into fruition. I kind of just woke up one day and was like, yeah, like this is what I'm going to do. My parents were always like, you're going to go to school, you're going to, get like an actual job. And I always told them, I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, straight up, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to school. I'm going to do what makes me happy. And I'm so glad that I did that, because, ever since I came out to LA, I've been so fucking happy. I was in like a 3-year relationship before I came out here. We ended up breaking up, and I bought a car like 2 weeks later, packed up all my shit, and just drove. And I was like, I'm going to LA. I'm gonna fucking figure it out. I bought an Airbnb, and oh my God. So literally like 2 days before I was gonna come out here, I was gonna stay downtown in like this tiny ass place by myself. And Leo, my roommate, ends up calling me. He's like, hey, we have a room. If you want to stay, you can stay with us. And I was like, bro, oh my God, it just worked out so perfect.
So I guess let's real fast connect the dots. Liam has been on the podcast.
Shout out Liam.
Part of the group of boys that became my family out here. You got Noah, you got Jack, you got Cam, you got this whole group of people that I know through Noah, and now I know you through Noah, and you know them through Noah. Shout out Noah, who's sitting behind the cameras over there. You guys all know who he is. He's been on here before. He'll be on again. You'll be on again. He'll be on again.
Indubitably.
So how did you and Noah start working together? Because Noah's been producing your music with you.
Yeah, so through the girlfriend, actually. Her friends, I guess her best friend's parents, introduced us. Basically, the first time that I came out to LA, the friend's parents were like, Jack should meet Noah. Like this needs to happen. And I was like, honestly, I don't know anybody. Like I'm willing to meet anybody at this point. So I ended up coming out here, and we went to this this coffee shop that's like right down the road from where I'm staying now. And I always asked him, I was like what's like why did you want to, you know, start working with me? And he really told me, aside from the music, just like who I am as a person and just like the vibe that I'm giving him, he said that he really enjoyed. And literally we knew each other for like 30 minutes. He took me back to his Airbnb. I met his girlfriend, and I just showed him all my demos. And honestly, from there, it wasn't even like a business relationship. We were just friends.
Yeah.
And it took a while for him to actually be like, okay, yeah, I want to take this on. I would like to manage you. It's actually around the time that we made I Want to Make You Mine, I believe, is really when he was kind of just like, okay, like, yeah, I want to see what I can do with this.
And you got beyond lucky, because one of the Noah, and this is not just me talking about this now. You can listen to 30 different episodes where Noah's names come up. A savant, a straight up fucking savant, somebody who's born with abilities that most people have to get 10,000 hours in to be able to acquire. Just like the greatest person for the job. And I remember Noah telling me that he met this kid and he's going to start helping him out and working together. And then the next time we talked is that you guys are like working, like legit working together. It wasn't just an idea anymore. And the way he talked about it was just like, right away, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. You can just tell right away. I don't know. Everybody who listens to this know how I feel about this man over here and his abilities and the shit that I've learned from him. And now hearing the song that you guys did together, it's just like it's confirmation that you guys really found a duality that is so important and that'll help you find what you're looking for so much quicker.
I appreciate that. It's crazy. Coming out here the first time, I knew nobody. I could literally count on one hand how many people that I knew. And because of him and because of everything that he's done for me, I know so many people. I've gone to so many sessions, and I'm so forever thankful for everything that he's done for me. It's unreal, honestly. I don't think I ever would have imagined a world where this was actually possible.
Well, sometimes if you're looking too hard, you're not going to find what you want. Sometimes you got to kind of stop looking, build the skeleton, the plan of what you need for your life. And as you're building, you're going to find the blocks to actually put it together. Yeah. Or the blocks will find you. Mm-hmm. So what was the first session when you guys started working on this song, or whatever you first started? What was it like? What was that first time sitting down and really, really kind of committing to a song?
I mean, the first song we ever worked on was I Want to Make You... Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was... Autumn. Yeah, it was Autumn and April. I don't think... Am I allowed to say that that's like not out yet, or do I say it's out now? Or okay, cool. I'm just talking about the records. So yeah, Autumn and April was the first song. So yeah, I had a song doing pretty well on TikTok called "Woman in the Walls." Mm-hmm. It's doing really well on TikTok. I was having like 200,000 people in every single one of my lives, and Noah was like, "Dude, like we need to get this shit going." So yeah, I fly to Denver like a week later after he was literally like, "Bro, we got to get this shit going." So I'm like, "All right, bet, let's go." I bought my ticket. I'm there, and so we're working on Autumn and April, and it's crazy. That song, I'll show you after the podcast what it was versus what it is now is so. It's just so different. The original version still holds like a really sentimental place in my heart, just because I was in a really fucking fucked up place whenever I made that song. But turning that from what it was into what it is now, it's like a pop song, and it's more so like almost happy in a way. I feel like the chemistry that we had in the studio, honestly, the chemistry that we have in the studio every time that we make music is just so beautiful. And I don't want to sound corny, but it's just magical. Every time we're in there, we can just make something that just sounds awesome, that we know that it's just going to do so well whenever we're actually finished with it.
Well, having a song hold a place in your heart before it's been fully constructed is important. It means that there's value to yourself, that you're writing from a place of honesty, that you're writing about something that you getting it on paper or in the DAW, which should be Ableton, that's a separate step. Having that pre-made version of it, the demo, whatever it is, that is a stamp of time when you got to conceive this idea. then there's the point where you get to help it grow up and help it turn into the best version of itself it can be. And both of those are important times, and they're separate, and they're both supposed to exist. And do you feel like most songs that you've been writing, you feel like are going to go to the next stage, or do you write a lot of music that you just writing it to kind of keep going?
I write a lot of music. I'll show you my notes. I mean, I can literally just scroll for days in my notes and my what's it called? My voice memos as well. I feel like though, for the most part, out of all of the songs that I've written versus the songs that are actually going to make it, I feel like are very few, to be honest with you. I want to be nitpicky about what I have out. Like, I genuinely want to have every single song on my page. Like, I enjoy it so much to the point where I'm like, okay, like the world needs to hear this. If there's a song that I made that I'm just like about, I don't think that I could put it out. I really don't.
I love asking people that question because it's when you can start seeing what kind of person somebody is. And there's not one right way or wrong way. But like when I make music, I can make 500 little 16-bar loops, and I have them. No one knows. I have my computer's just full of idea after idea. I have a really tough time fleshing it out. I guess that's the right way to say it. And then you meet people who write 10 songs, and all 10 songs are going to get released. Then you meet people who write 80 songs, and 3 of them are going to get released, but they're going to be the 3 best. And it's just really cool getting to see people's how they use the vessel. Are you using it just to get from point A to point B, or are you just kind of looking out the window as you're going and absorbing everything? It's cool to see, and it sounds like with or without releasing music, this is going to be cathartic to you no matter what, and it probably always has been.
It's crazy you said that. I stopped making music for about like 2-3 months. I don't know how old I was. I was in high school. I was just like, I can't do this. Like, this is just not for me. And I remember the entire time that I said that I was done making music, I was still making music.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck is the point of stopping? I'm still going to fucking do it. I was like,
well, and part of that, maybe you just needed to tell yourself that you were done for a second so you can kind of re-fall in love with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're with somebody for a long time, and you guys spend every day together and every meal together, and you forget why you need them sometimes. And then you go on vacation with your family for a week, and you come back and you're like, that's why.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. And just space gives you the ability to really think through why you're so in love with whatever you're in love with. People, art, friendships, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself happier in sessions or writing alone?
When it comes to writing the music, I definitely prefer to be by myself, because I feel like when I'm with people, I feel obligated to, like, okay, I have to make something good that they're going to enjoy and that the world is going to enjoy, versus when I'm by myself, I feel so free and I'm able to say things that don't sound good, because then I can kind of figure out how I can go about, you know, making it enjoyable to me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I always have a really hard time when I'm writing with people, or it really just depends on who the person is. Like when I could be with Noah, or I could be with Nate Sanders, or I could be with there's so many people that I could be listening. But yeah, there's just, it really depends on the person and the vibe that we have and like how good I know them. But for the most part, I think I would prefer to be writing by myself.
And do you play any instruments?
I'm learning guitar right now.
What's that been like?
It's been a fucking journey. I've been playing since quarantine, and I've picked it up and I've put it down. I picked it up and I put it down. But definitely since I moved to LA, I was like, okay, like I have no choice at this point. I've been practicing every single day just because I would genuinely like to be good at playing an instrument. It's always been a goal of mine, and I've never been serious about it. But to a point right now where I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely would love to start taking guitar seriously.
And it's a really cool, especially if you learned how to write pre-playing instruments, you have that down. Now learning with instruments is just going to add more possibilities.
Exactly.
And you know, when you're writing without playing it, it's harder to change up what you're doing in real time.
Yeah.
When you're playing this chord, this chord, this chord, but you fuck up and you play a seventh there, and you go, wait, what if I harmonize with that chord with my voice? And like you start going these different directions. I feel like it's a really cool way to kind of to continue to be new at something.
Yeah.
Whenever you're new at something, you're gonna have a little bit more of a spark than when you feel too comfortable with it.
100%.
So how were you writing previously? What did that look like?
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Like if you weren't playing guitar or piano while you were writing, what was the experience like? Were you sitting down to beats online, to just listening to chords, to nothing?
Yeah, I would look up YouTube type beats,
Yeah.
and I would make the record simply, and I would bring it. Well, at this point now, after I would do that, I would bring it to Noah, or I'd bring it to a producer that I really enjoy, and we would just go from there, completely erasing the beat, and just I have this song and I have this melody that I created, and it's just like, let's just make the backbone.
I think that's sick, though. I think people having that option opened up the world to a lot of people who maybe wouldn't get the opportunity otherwise.
I didn't know anybody at home that made music. I didn't know anybody at home that played an instrument. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. It was hard as fuck to be able to actually make a song at home, especially when you don't know anybody and you don't know how to use any of the equipment.
Yeah.
But after I got past that, like ever since I now have people that I can go to and be like, okay, like let's make a song, and we can actually build the structure together, and I can actually write it with them, or I can write it on my own time. It just made shit so much easier.
Absolutely. And there's something about being new at something that is very humbling. You start being more excited by the little things, you know? If you weren't learning guitar, watching somebody do something really cool was nice.
Yeah.
But now when you learn it and you're like, wait, where'd you put your index finger there?
Yeah.
How did you make that into a seventh? Why are you putting a ninth there? Why are you going into a mode there? What is the idea behind what you're doing? And now it starts opening up these different routes that are so hard to kind of go down if you don't know what you're looking for.
Do you know, I mean, I feel like you do, but I would still like to ask the question. Do you know the chord that you're playing when you're playing it, or do you know it by the sound?
Sound.
Okay, that's how I am. I was wondering because you were saying all the chords, and I was like, I feel like you know from like what it's called.
I don't. I'm learning. Yeah. I'm like constantly learning. I put too much of my life at a time, so some things kind of get put on the back burner.
Of course.
But growing up, I have a disease with my eyes called convergence disorder, and pretty much what it means is my eyes don't work together to form an image. So I'm seeing the left version of it and the right version kind of in stereo versus like having one mono view.
Interesting.
So reading notes growing up was impossible for me. I couldn't delineate where the note was on the staff.
Really?
I think that's the right word. Staff is yeah, we'll go with it. So I never learned how to read music, and it put a really bad taste in my mouth growing up because it made me feel very defeated. So when I started to learn the little bit of piano and the little bit of guitar that I know, it was just, how does this sound? Not good. Let's move this finger and see what it does. And then keep doing that until it sounds nice. And then poke it in on some website to see what the chord is.
That is so cool.
It's cool, but it also, there is part of me that wishes I had a little bit better theory knowledge, because I feel like the best way to break rules is to know the rules first.
I feel, honestly, man, I'm going to say the opposite. It's like if you don't know the rules and you're just going to go and just do whatever feels and sounds good, like for me personally, it's like that is when I'm making like the craziest shit.
Totally.
I don't know. I've got, because I went to a music school for middle school, and they tried to teach me.
I was gonna say, when you were telling the story earlier, and you said he ran into the practice room.
So I was in chorus in middle school, and they would teach us all of that, like all of the basics, everything that you needed to know. And I never learned. Like I simply would just not. I went by sound, and I've always gone by sound. And it's just easier, and it just makes more sense to me. It's just like if it sounds right, then like that's what it is.
Then it's right. Yeah. And I agree, and that's how I work.
Yeah.
That's totally how I work, but there's something about having one foot in, one foot out, you know? I would love to be able to sit down at a piano and automatically form my emotions into this melody or into this progression, and understand that I'm getting out exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, when I'm working with friends that know too much theory and they get stuck because, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And you go, I get it, that's not how it works, but it sounds fucking great. And it doesn't have to work. It just has to work it has to deliver the meaning we're putting behind it. It doesn't have to deliver this classically trained, perfectionism.
Of course.
So I think both are important, and being able to do both are important. Wow, that's one fucking hell of a water bottle.
This is a gallon, my friend, but it's not water.
What is it? That's a lot of vodka.
It's tequila.
Tequila. Okay, sweet. Damn, that would be
I have a problem.
insane.
It is insane.
That's fantastic.
You want some? Would you like to try?
I got some tequila. I appreciate it.
You're good, no worries.
No limes in it or anything?
We just raw dog it here.
Yeah, why not? That's what you call on the rocks. God damn. So what about your new music that you guys are starting to write or that you guys have written do you feel like is going to set you apart from other people? What are you doing that makes you feel like you really have something to give?
I genuinely feel like I listen to a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with the music that I've been listening to recently, it simply has just not been up to par. And I feel like everybody has been talking about the same thing, and everybody is trying to be the same thing, or is trying to be like, I'm not trying to be like anything, I'm just trying to be like myself. And it's just like, bro, let's just go and just make fucking music and make it sound good and not think about what fucking lane we're going to be in or just try to stay out of genres. It's just like, bro, do what sounds good. Do what makes you happy. If it sounds good, fucking run with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I personally have gone in not with a genre that I have listened to my entire life. It's more so a genre that I enjoy. And I really take pride in being versatile just because I can go and I can make any song that I would like to make. It really just depends on my mood and how I'm feeling and what I want to talk about. And I really take pride in that.
I'm super curious to hear the other stuff you're working on because it sounds like you're writing more from the perspective of how you're feeling in the moment versus is this song going to follow the last song?
Exactly.
Or is this my sound or whatever the kind of invisible lines the world has put around us.
Exactly. And that's honestly a big part of why I wanted to do this interview with you. I really just wanted to share like where I'm at right now. I don't know what my sound is. I don't know what I want to sound like. I really don't even know who the fuck I am. I'm still just trying to figure it out.
But isn't that the goal? Like, if you know too much about yourself, then there's not a lot to explore.
Exactly.
That sounds pretty fucking boring.
Exactly.
I feel like understanding that you're in this perpetual motion, you're continually running, and you got to jump over whatever's in front of you and run around it and keep going. That's the beauty of what we're doing. Is we're not bankers who get up to the highest level of their job and that's where they are forever until they retire. We're always moving and somebody's always going to hate what we're doing and somebody's always going to love it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And they're always going to be there surrounding you. It's how you decide to continue moving forward. It's like you just got to build the gyroscope around you that kind of keeps you stable as you go and make it something that you're not just pushing forward, but you're pushing forward sustainably and in a way that keeps your brain healthy and your body healthy.
Do you ever wish to just like be stagnant though, just to like have peace for like a moment?
I don't know if I would have peace if I was stagnant. I definitely find I have things that I do. I'm a really, really big proponent of sustainability. And I go to the mountains. I was there yesterday for like 9 hours and I just laid out there.
Like by yourself?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And I camp a lot. When it's nice out, I camp most weekends. Mostly alone. Really? And I give myself those moments to be at ease, but I still wouldn't say I'm stagnant. That's when I'm picking through all of the input that's come through my mind in the past week and processing through it and giving myself a moment where my physical body is stopped, but my brain works harder then, and not in a bad way. It's just in a useful way. That's when I can go through and sort all the pieces of the week, throw out what I don't need anymore, throw out the junk mail and the things that are very important that help me become a better version of me. I put those at the front and I try to pay attention to those throughout the next weeks.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you do that kind of keeps your mind at ease or makes you happy outside of music?
I'm going to be honest with you. My whole goal in life was to be able to do something with music. I've spent all of my life doing this, and I've never branched out to go find something else that I enjoyed just because I was so serious and just motivated on just being the best and working towards being the best. And I was doing an interview with Grant Owens, and I wanted him to ask this question, but Noah told me not to. Can I talk about it? I'm going to talk about it. So Noah told me not to talk about quarantine or COVID, but I feel like that structured who I am as an artist so much. I feel like I ask so many people, I'm like, how did quarantine affect you? Like, did you enjoy it? And almost everybody that I talked to, they're like, no, I fucking hated it. It was the worst period of my life. I was so bored. I had nothing going on. I was like, bro, I was in the studio every fucking day. I was writing every day. I was making music every day. And coming out of it, I felt so strong, and I knew not all the way what I wanted to do, but I had a good fucking idea of who I was, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to talk about. And I'm so fucking thankful for that period of time. I was probably the happiest I think I've ever been during quarantine.
And do you think that was because you had the ability to just do music?
Yes.
And that was it?
Yes.
And because I agree. And for me, I used it really wisely, I guess, for myself. And I was in the mountains every day, and I was writing music every day, and I started this podcast. And I think the issue behind it is that if you're hoping, at least what I found for myself is I got so used to having the reward without the work. And like all of our goal is to be able to do this forever and do it in a way that we can support our families and our friends and have this beautiful life where monetary issues aren't part of it. And we can go and put money into things that we feel deserve and help people and give and do all this stuff. And I think we got to a point with COVID where we got a really, really intense look at what that feels like without having to put the work in to get there. You know, we got the break without the work behind it, which I think is also a really cool thing that we got because it made us all hungry. Now that we're out of that, we all want that again. We want that ability to just wake up and know that all I have to do today is make a song.
See, that's what I love about LA, because everybody out here is starving to be somebody. They try so fucking hard to be able to just go out and just do it. I feel like for the most part where I'm from, not a lot of people do that or know what they want to do. And that's fucking terrifying to me. I'm so thankful that I found out from such a young age what I wanted to do with my life, and I've been doing it ever since. I feel like so many people are lost and don't know what they want to do with their life, and fuck, bro, I'd hate to be in that situation.
It's sad because we know what it's like to be starving in a way that feels comfortable. It's starving because we know that we want something so bad, and we know we're going to get it because nothing's going to stop us, you know, but unfortunately, most of the world don't have something that when they wake up, they're excited that they get the opportunity, one more opportunity to do it again.
Yeah.
And then the next day you get to do it again. And that feeling of finding purpose is so unusual in this world, especially now where there's so much that is automated and so much that changes so quickly. It's really, we're so lucky to have something that we're obsessed with in a way that feeds our soul, hopefully eventually feeds our body and our families and all these things. But with something that has such beautiful highs comes also intense lows, and you can't have one emotion without the other. They're gonna coexist. It's like this crazy Venn diagram where you're always going to be hitting both sides. And I think having some sort of outlet outside of music that allows you time to think, you don't have to stop thinking about music. It's helpful to have something else that pushes you, that becomes the stressor of the day. So it's no longer part of music, like going for a run. Yeah. If you can go for a run and that's hard and you have to get through this thing, maybe when you can't think of the right lyric, it's going to feel a little less stressful than that feeling of knowing you have another mile to get home. You know, like these different things like that allow you to sustain a positive mindset forever. Because there's going to be days where you have to put in more work in an area that you don't want to do it, you know? And I tell people this all the time. Like, everybody's like, I wish I was just a rock star already. I wish I had the money and this and that. I was like, I wish that everybody understood what it was like to have to work a full-time job outside of it too, because you're never going to be more hungry than when you're being deprived of the thing you love and you only have 3 hours to get it done rather than 10. You know, finding these ways to preserve the excitement is part of this job also. And like, I think it's something that I would recommend, that I find so helpful to have these outside things. And trust me, I am as obsessed with this as it gets. It's literally my whole entire life.
Yeah, just look at this room.
It's
a beautiful room.
Thank you. It's heaven for me. But also stepping outside of it is just as important as being in here.
How do you find what you want to do outside of it? I've never...
Try things. Try it all.
Gosh, I feel like I've tried so much, bro.
Go make a list of 50 things that you've always wanted to try, whether it's painting, running, fucking trying to meet 3 new people a day, whether it's playing a new sport, playing a game, playing video games, going on walks, whatever it is. It could be, your goal could be to go on 1 mile walk every single day and say hi to 2 people along the way. Now you have this thing that keeps you physically healthy, but also now you have new input coming in, and you have these new experiences that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. Just keep trying things. Just make a list. Mark it off. That's not for me.
Yeah.
This one might be. I'm going to come back to it.
Yeah.
Mark this one, this one, this one, this one. And you keep going through, and you're going to figure out who you are along the way. It's pretty crazy.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to let you know how it goes.
Please. Let me know. And the cool thing about this community is just call people, be like, hey, what do you do that makes you happy? That's not music. And you're going to hear some of the most wild things from people that you would never expect. And that's the cool thing about this community, is it's all people who need other outlets as well.
That's crazy you say that. I don't think I've ever asked that question, ever.
I don't think most people do.
I've never even thought about asking the question because I've been so consumed, and I don't think I've ever stepped out of it, honestly. Like I feel like my entire life is making content and making music and writing the music, and then working at this coffee shop that I'm working at right now.
Yeah, but when you're working at that coffee shop, is there ever times when you hear a song come on while you're working, you go, fuck, I need to go write?
Oh yeah, all the time. I don't even need to think. I don't even need to listen to a song. That's how I feel all the time.
But that means that it's already in there too, and you're doing something. The fact that you're willing to work a job and you're not saying, I shouldn't be working a job, I deserve more than this. It's like, that feeling's always going to be in the back of our head. Absolutely. But you still get up and you still go to that job, and you still understand that you have to make your money to pay rent and to eat and to do all this stuff, and that's part of it.
It's crazy you said that. When I first moved out here, I was working for a company from North Carolina. I sold benefits basically to old people.
Yeah.
And it was a remote job, so I had like a computer, and I would just take calls all day. And so they're on Eastern time, so I moved out here and basically would wake up every single day at like 4:30.
Fuck.
Every single day, and I would work till like 2 or 3, and the entire time I was like, bro, I'm exhausted, this fucking sucks. And it's crazy because right after I was done, like literally at 1:30, I would go pack up all my shit, and I'd be in a session till like 11 o'clock. That was like the first month and a half. Then I moved to LA, and then they got bought out and I got fired, but we don't gotta talk about that.
Yeah, but you had that experience, and now you can get up at 4 a.m. if you need.
100%. I'll do that every day if it means that I can just be in a session for 8-9 hours. I would love that.
But like, even when you start finding success outside of your jobs on the side, and it starts becoming music, having these other things that take you away from it, so you appreciate the time you do have, is so important.
I agree.
And going to the park and going on a walk, or going out with friends, or whatever it is, all these experiences are new inputs that allow you to now then go file them and have new material to write about, and new stories. And I don't know, it's like some people, I've been asked, what should you do if you don't feel inspired to write? My thing is always go write from somebody else's perspective. Pretend it's not you. And now you don't, all of the hang-ups that you have on yourself, those aren't there anymore. You don't have that excuse. Now you are somebody else writing from their shoes. It's just like, there's so many things that you can do to reignite the fire every single day, and make this something that not only can you do to the fullest extent right now, but till the day that you fucking can't. Yeah. You know?
It's funny you say that. Oh, dude, I just lost my fucking train of thought.
That's okay. That's what this is for.
That's such a shame.
Should we get high?
Dude, I was literally actually just about to say that. You have a light?
Yeah. Pause. We are back. We are back. We are back.
We're gonna get high.
Lighting the doobie. Where's that from?
Shit. Raw Garden?
I love joints, and this is gonna be a hot take. I would rather smoke a joint that looks more like a cigarette, like that straight flat look, than a cone. I don't know what it is. It makes it feels better.
I'm with you. I agree. I don't really like cones. I was smoking cones for a minute because I bought like. Brad, I bought 8 grams the other day from a dispensary. Guess how much money it was?
8 grams. I mean, you could be doing at least, what, 25 for an eighth?
I spent $30. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I spent $30 on 8 grams.
So, like, on a little bit more than a quarter.
Do you know how much 8 grams would be at home for me?
I guess, yeah. In North Carolina, it's
like
probably...
$80.
Yeah, my first gram I ever bought was $60 for a single gram. And now I buy ounces for $45.
Where are you from?
Detroit. Right outside of Detroit.
Should I ash this?
Ashtray.
That's an ashtray.
World's biggest ashtray. This
It's in my water
too,
bottle.
There's also...
That's an ashtray too.
Here, got you a little...
Oh, appreciate it.
You got a lot of ashtrays. I'm a big fan of them. Thank you.
Yeah, they were quiet.
So, we were talking, and this conversation is going to be... Oh, you're okay. Quick pause. And we're back.
That's still going to work?
So, yeah, you're good.
All right.
So, this is going to be our precursor to the next one.
Am I doing something wrong?
No, you got it. Just push it up and hold the little...
Oh, okay. I didn't want to break it. My bad.
No, you're okay.
And we're back.
And we're back. So we were talking, and this conversation is going to be the precursor to the next conversation, which I guess is what precursor means. And what I'm excited to see is right now you're at a place where just released your first song. You are working on a bunch more. You're starting to figure out what feels the most genuine to you. And my favorite thing is seeing progression. I think something that's more important than raw talent is seeing somebody get really good at something. And I feel like that's what we're going to be able to see. We're going to see you really hone in on who you are and what you want to see and what impact you want to make on the world.
I always told myself whenever I didn't have the resources, like when I get these resources that I need, I'm going to be fucking unstoppable. I'm coming for people's fucking throats, bro.
But be unstoppable before the resources. The resources come to people that are already unstoppable. You know?
I love that.
I think if you're waiting for the right people to make the right moves, then you're skipping out on opportunities that you have already. You know, just because you don't have a label doesn't mean that you can't go hit up 100 different artists a day to collaborate.
That's so fucking true.
You know, if you hit up 500 people, 2 will answer. And those 2 could change your life.
Damn.
And if you're waiting for somebody to do that for you, then you might never find exactly what you're looking for. But because by the time you have the correct resources, it could look completely different.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's worth diving into the things that go make a list of what you want a manager and an agent and a label to do for you and go do them.
Yeah.
You know? And
damn. I never thought about it like that.
I think that it's one of those things that the only reason I know it is because I did the opposite. And I went and I waited for people for too long. And now I'm starting to realize that if I go get those things done, I'm going to have more leverage when they do come. You know, that great label deal will turn into a fantastic label deal. And your leverage as an artist and as a writer and as somebody who's released music will be so much higher. Your worth will be more, you know? I think it's so worth going and finding everything you want on your own. And even if you only find 25% of it, now all they have to do is 75%. And you're going to get a lot more opportunity because of that, because they know they can get you out the door a lot quicker.
That's crazy you say that. I've never thought about, I don't know how, I've just never thought about doing it like that. And I feel like if I did, who knows where I would be if I were to have done that.
I don't think you need to be anywhere that you're not right now. I think that's also part of it. I know so many people that were ready, including myself, 5 years before they were actually ready. And if you think you're ready, you're not. It has to be one of those things where you wake up and you go, I did everything that I needed to be the precursor to the next step.
See, I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I spent so much time just getting shit on in school and just people telling me I couldn't and just people just didn't believe in me. And I just feel like after I just took so much time to myself to just figure out what I wanted, it all just kind of clicked. It was just like that. I really started to get good around like 2020, but I feel like now at the point that I'm at with how I write and where I kind of want the vision to go, I'm just so happy with where it is. So with what you said, I think that, you know.
So then I think that also, though, rings true to the fact that you are exactly where you need to be at this moment and you didn't miss any steps and you're not skipping forward. Because also, if you have the option for a 20-year career, but it's going to take you 2 more years to get there, or you have an option for a 2-year career, but it's going to take you 2 months to get there, it's going to be really easy to pick the 2-month one because nobody's telling you about the 2-year career that you have, this small little thing and nobody's telling you that, hey, if in 2 years it happens, you're going to make a life out of this.
Yeah.
Your kids will be able to see somebody who worked their ass off and gets to live off of it for the rest of their life. And when you try to make the steps too close to each other, you don't have time to think in between.
Yeah.
You know, you want this to be paced. You don't need this to be a quick dash.
Stop looking at me.
No one knows too, and you know too, and we all do, and we're all learning. And I haven't made it. I don't know these answers. Everything that I'm saying is based off of the fact that recently I realized, when I started this podcast, I realized the most use I can have in the world is telling people what I'm going through, not telling people how I went through it. You know, I don't need to give you answers because I don't have answers, but I sure as hell have things that I'm trying and that I'm learning from all these other people who are also trying. And I've had people in here who have played in front of 60, 70,000 people in stadiums, and they still aren't there yet, and they never will be. They're always climbing. They're always chasing it.
I feel like that's a huge problem that humans have, is we're never content. I mean, even with me, I mean, I don't think that that I'm in a great position with music, obviously, compared to people that are A-list, but I also feel like I'm in a great position for a song being out 2 days and we have 10K, all indie. I just feel like that's really cool, but I just feel like we as humans are so, I don't want to say ungrateful, but like I want to say ungrateful. It's like we get something and we have it, and it's just like, oh, but I need more. And we're always out just chasing, and we're never content with anything, and I feel like that's a huge fucking issue. And I'm not one to preach because I'm just like that. I'm like, oh, I need more. I need to figure out how I can be content with what I have going on. I feel like that's a great fucking trait to have, and I feel like not a lot of people have that.
I don't think it's a trait. I think it's just the difference in reminding yourself or not. And that's what I bring up lists a lot, and I have a lot of lists because it's writing things down is the only way that I'm going to be reminded myself. Write down every day when you do something that you love, write it down. And write it down in something that gives you inspiration. I guarantee by the end of the day, you're going to realize that 90% of what you write down, you can't do as an A-list.
Are you content?
One of my favorite things in the whole entire world is going and walking around town with my sunglasses on and some headphones in and just watching. You can't do that as an A-list. One of the things that brings so many people their next song, you can't do once you make it, you know? So it's you almost have to pretend like both sides are just as great as each other, which they are, and enjoy the moments that you're having now, because as success finds you, there's going to be less things that you can do that allow you to connect with the regular person. Yeah. You know, this is all this weird teeter-totter, and you're going up and you're going down, but you're always still on the same fucking piece of wood. Yeah. You know, it's so interesting. And I know so many people that all they wish is that they can be new at something without the whole world watching them. You know, right now you get the opportunity to try anything you want and suck at it, and that's okay. I'm okay on that. But you can't do that when the whole world's watching you. So before they're watching you, which they will one day, everybody's going to want to watch you. And I think you're going to get there. But do the things and enjoy the things that you're not going to be able to do then. Because then you're just going to wish that you did.
So many people tell me that. And I need to figure out, I need to do that and just be grateful. But I feel like I'm a really impatient person, and it's like I just have like a want to just be there, and I've always had that my entire life. Like when people tell me like, wouldn't it suck to like not be able to go out and just like enjoy like going to grab a cup of coffee and not everybody just like asking for a picture and autograph, but it's like, this can sound so fucked up. Like I want that. Like totally. I want to be able to just not be able to leave my house because so many people are just bombarding me.
Well, you don't have to dislike the outcome either. I think that would be amazing to have the kind of ability to change people's lives like that and promote happiness and show people what it's like when you can treat people right and how important that is. I want that too. I think a lot of us do. But I don't think you can't be present in the moment and also not be excited for what's to come. Yeah. I think they're allowed to happen simultaneously, but at the end of the day, you're doing all this. You're aware of it. You know, being aware of something is the first fucking step. And that's so cool that you can say all this shit, especially, how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're young. You got so much room to go, and you know so much more than most 21-year-olds. I think at the end of the day, understanding that you're aware of your situation and being so upfront and honest about that shit, that's winning. You're already doing it. You're winning. You know, you're making great music. You're around great people. People enjoy you around. You give people energy that is so useful and necessary. You know, you're already in it. You're on your way.
It's so funny you say that because I go into work and a lot of the people that I work with are like, they just don't want to be there. I don't want to be there either. I fucking hate working. All I want to do is be in the studio and just make music and do this. Like, this is so much fun. But he told me, he was like, how are you always like so positive and like have this energy with you? And to be honest with you, I didn't really have an answer. I still don't have an answer. You
just know that they're not mutually exclusive. You can be annoyed with where you're at physically and still be a happy, you know, positive person.
Well, with that as well, but it's really just like I have this want and need to just like make people happy and just like enjoy where they're at regardless of if they're not happy with the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
And I really bring that with me everywhere, whether if it's to a podcast or to this fucking coffee shop that I work at. Just like I just have a want to just be able to help people.
What a cool thing to be able to want, though. You know, everybody's going to have a bad day, but if at the end of your bad day you still want the next one to be good, then you're probably heading the right direction. You can probably help a lot of other people feel that way too.
You think so?
I think so. I think you're doing it so far. I'm excited to do another one in a year or around then, whenever we do the next one, and see where you're at, see how great things are, and no matter where they're at, just be excited along the way, and you're going to be good to go.
I'm so fucking excited. So many people.
I love it.
Since since we released that one in Making Mine, so many people are like, bro, like there's something that I don't know. I've heard it a lot recently. Everybody's just like, bro, take it easy, and like shit is just gonna be just fucking fine.
Yeah, enjoy the process.
I am enjoying the process, 100%.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah,
There's nothing else to it besides enjoy the process and try to get better every day.
Yeah.
Jackpal.
Jackpal.
Powell.
Like a buddy, like a pal.
Pow.
Jackpal.
Jackpal.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. God, my cotton mouth isn't helping. Thank you for getting me high. Thank you for having a fucking fantastic conversation. I love the song. I'm so excited to go hear more once we turn the cameras off, and I appreciate you being so good to somebody that's so important to me as well, and vice versa. So I love you, brother. I'm excited to do more of these.
Love you as well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, always. You have an open invite. And everybody, go stream up his music. There will be a link below. Go visit it. Go share it with your friends. Go share it with your family. And then when they listen to it, send it to them again. I love you all. Thank you for listening. And to everybody out there,
I'm Jackpal, and this is an experiment.
Yeah, it is.
Love you guys. Boy.
The experience is the experiment.